नमस्कार, OUSRHH की इस व्याख्यान श्रृंखला में आपका स्वागत है। और आज हम एक ऐसे विषय पर चर्चा करने जा रहे हैं जो शायद दुनिया में अपने आप में एक अनोखी घटना है। It is something that for the first time in the history of the world, the amount of jewelry, money donated to any government, to an army, is unparalleled. What the people of Indian origin in Southeast Asian countries contributed for the INA, Azad Hind Fauj and Azad Hind Sarkar. And equally important is the issue, what happened to that money? Netaji met all expenses from these funds and did not take a pie from other countries. What he had taken loans from Germany, he was returning to Germany through Bank of Japan. And then there were huge amounts, both in cash, gold bars, ornaments, etc. What happened to them? They were looted.
Professor Kumar,
and today,
in your volume,
we have a discussion with us, Professor M.S. Pal.
In your volume, Netaji and Azad Hind Sarkar and Fauj, removing smoke screens. In your chapter 34, you have dealt with raising the funds.
Yes.
Some interesting facts are there. Please narrate.
The reason is that how these funds were raised, Netaji had a clear aspect. You see, when the first Azad Hind Fauj failed, Raj Bihari Bose had made a categorical statement that to fight you need money, and we didn't have any money. So naturally they had to concede to certain Japanese demands. And Netaji understood this very well. And he said, when we have money, why should we seek money from others?
And if I seek money from others, will be an obligation.
And that's why in Singapore, after his very first visit, only in July 43, he asked for raising of these funds. And what happened?
To be self-sufficient.
To be self-sufficient. And what happened? That right from a hawker to a normal serviceman, to a big businessman, to a millionaire,
all persons of the Indian diaspora there.
The way they contributed. You see, imagine Yusuf Mafrani giving 1 crore rupees at that time, his cars, his property, and asking from him in return only a uniform.
Someone's property is about 5 crores rupees.
Ziyawadi State, Geeta Betai.
Some estates.
Okay.
Of squares of miles.
These are the rich,
donated.
Rich instances.
Some mines, plantations, donated.
This is the rich of the rich. But of the common people, the Kawalas, they came with their cows and buffaloes to give. A.C. Chatterjee has mentioned a very touching incident, that where this daily worker, he went in the line to donate and he had $40 on him. So A.C. Chatterjee tried to convince him that you keep 20 with you and donate 20 only. So first he agreed, he donated 20 and went out. And A.C. Chatterjee says after a while he saw this man again
in the line.
So he asked him, why are you here again? You have donated already. He said, no. I had come with my daily earnings of $40 to donate, and if I take anything back out of it, I won't be able to sleep. A woman,
yes.
A woman just coined some she is giving to Netaji. And Netaji is up like this, Colonel Mehboob has mentioned in his diary. And he asked Netaji, why were you reluctant? He said, I was thinking, if I take this money, from where will she eat? And if I don't take, she may think that I don't want to take it from the poor. And then Netaji ordered Colonel Mehboob to look after that women and all, and it's a big story. He brought her back and settled her all and all. Netaji auctioning the garlands. And it went up to 8 lakh. 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 4 lakhs, 8 lakhs. Some Punjabi boy bought it. You don't know that name. At some place, he was being weighed by gold. And something is left out. And an old lady, elderly lady comes with a golden frame and his son's picture in that who had died. And she takes out that golden frame and puts over there. Netaji touches her feet. We don't know her name. Sardar Ishar Singh in Thailand, 100 kg of silver at that time. The amount people from
and
that
lady who has whole body was covered with ornaments, taking a picture.
I got recently a photograph,
that photograph
from Thailand that this Indian origin lady, before going to donate her ornaments, she got herself photographed.
Yes.
And look at the amount, how many tolas of gold she's
from
wearing.
neck to feet, everywhere gold.
Gold is there. And she's
they're donating everything.
So that is how the funds were raised and made for the Azad Hind
And
Sarkar,
what was the sensation after call from the tongue of Netaji Subhash Chandra? What emotional call?
You see,
was
the
thrilling.
emotions are such like, you see, you have instances. Janki Thevar, 16-year-old. She listens to his speech, donates her all ornaments. Netaji goes to her home thinking that the young girl has donated.
Possibly only emotionally.
And she refuses to take. And her father gives more.
Yes.
So many such cases like that. Many such cases like that.
In that way, the wealth was collected.
I have given the photos of that hawker in the book, you know. That hawker who is earning daily things and he is contributing.
And
this is how, and not only this is how the funds were made. Netaji donated money to Japan to build 5 aeroplanes.
In advance, because he will need an air force for his country.
And much of this money is spent in Shanghai.
And boys are sent for training.
For buying
air force training.
Medicines and all. You see the Sikh community in Shanghai.
Very rich community.
How much they contributed in terms of money in this.
Shanghai, Hong Kong, Borneo, Philippines.
All these places.
Malaysia.
And this is how thing was made. And then when the war ended, and when
still a huge amount of wealth unused in banks.
The treasurer from Rangoon had moved
in Rangoon, with him. San Province, Thailand, Singapore.
When he left Bangkok, he left plenty of money donated to Thailand government.
Yes.
To build a department in the university. That department still
exists. Also today we have seen the records.
Bangkok.
He is giving money 1 lakh pound to Ramakrishna Mission. 1 lakh money to a orphan child institute, one Christian society, one mosque and Chetia temple. About 60,000 pound at that time. Yes, earlier donated. Is it back?
So all this
and
shows.
Not only that, in that month of August 13-14, he is in advance ordering to give all the persons of the INA and IIL 1 year's advance payment.
You see,
how much wealth is there in advance?
This again shows
how much wealth is there.
That one, how much wealth is there. Second, what this man did with that wealth. Selfless, for the sake of the country, for the welfare of the people. He didn't keep any for himself. And whatever he took with him before disappearing was again to raise the INA, because the slogan was that we disband to move again. Now comes the crucial question, Dada.
Even after that, there was plenty of wealth left over in Rangoon Bank, in San Province Bank, in Singapore, in Tokyo, in many places.
I have been able to discover 5 treasures.
Yes.
We use the word treasure now for that. And the very first thing, let us start with that.
1946.
1946.
Treasure being exposed.
Nehru's visit to
Singapore. Yes.
Where 5 kg of gold is given to him.
And that file I am seeing in the year 2000.
Harbhajan
First,
Singh.
yes.
and Nehru opens an account in the Indian Overseas Bank, a private account in his name,
personal account,
and deposits that.
and you see who is the person who has gone there. His own, that Pandit as secretary, who is the husband of his own daughter, own sister. Pandit.
Pandit is there, Mathai is there.
Pandit, Vijayalakshmi Pandit's, I think, husband.
Is there.
Yes, he is taken there as the personal secretary of Nehru.
And you see,
he is tackling this wealth.
Officially, it is stated that he will make a trust
There
for the welfare of the Malaya Indians and all that.
And here in
what happened to that 5 kg girl?
And here in India, Congress is telling that we have sent him, as per our resolution, to look after the Indian diaspora who is arrested, to look after for their.
Not only that,
but actually his
motive is different. It is the meeting to be arranged with Mountbatten by 5 agent Hugh Toy, because they have decided that Mountbatten will be coming to India, and then British have another aim also, that all those senior people of the INA who had gone underground
in the whole,
arrest them to bring them to fore, and this happens with
Gandhi will be, Nehru will be of help.
And the example is a clear example of this by this
Sahai
brother
of Sahai,
Satyanan Sahai, who went to meet Nehru climbing
in the middle of the night,
in the middle of night on the pipe, and Nehru
from behind
and when he comes down off the pipe and all the American soldiers come in,
surrounded him and arrested him.
And arrest him in that. And the third was that where Mountbatten has written of that visit on writing the foreword of this Vijayalakshmi Pandit's book, where he says that Nehru wanted to go to that memorial of INA, which
I persuaded him not to go.
Which Mountbatten had
and he agreed. He obliged.
He obliged. Said, from there on, there started a friendship between me, him, and Edwina. Now this is
and you see this chemistry of Edwina Nehru has done a lot in the transfer of power.
Well, that's
and Kashmir issue.
That's it.
And also Nehru went there to know whether really Netaji is dead or not.
That is another aspect, and I tell you,
and the share of this loot.
The amount of suffering which these people of Indian origin, who had contributed everything for independence of India, suffered there. There were orphans in the streets.
And directly you see
people without jobs, without food.
5 kg of gold transferred to his account, another lot 30 kilo. We do not know.
We come to that. Second aspect, stepwise we take, that the Indian mission in Japan
is
writing to the Indian government here, the Ministry of External Affairs, Foreign Affairs at that time, in 47, 48,
and
about 52, 5 years. And they keep writing that here are these INA treasures.
Our Foreign Office here in Delhi was dealt under the headline of Commonwealth Office, where some Chakraborty is the ICS head. There is Chettur. Yes.
And they are writing that this treasure is being stolen by that
Ramurthy brothers and Iyer.
And it should be checked and checked.
Yes.
But on all files, these declassified files now in 2017, they show that on the file Nehru writes seen. And you know what the word
actually
means in
you are saying
what the word seen means in official language. Note it, file it, no action to be taken. This is what Nehru is doing on this treasure, loot of INA there. And one more thing here, sir. The third thing there is that Azad Sarkar had an account in the Japanese bank.
Yes.
And if you recall, Netaji met the director of that Japanese bank during his visit in December 44 to Japan. Now what happened to that money of Azad Sarkar, which was kept in the Japanese bank? That's it. Now comes this question of this other file. This is a very interesting file.
Let us mention very clearly. The person in charge of our foreign mission in Tokyo is Chettur. K. Chettur. He is senior ICS.
He is the one, and then later on another.
And here in Delhi, dealing our Commonwealth Office is Mr. Chakraborty, ICS. These are all files.
Now we come
And
to
Nehru and Chakraborty is giving notes that Nehru is the foreign minister also. He is not interested about this because if this is done investigation that will bring disrepute to the country.
well, what this
And
is
another question Nehru is raising:
What?
Is this property the property of India?
What we see the thing, foolish things. It is not it's not foolish.
That is a file of 1951.
Now let's come to the other file. This is a file in Singapore archives.
Yes.
Which lists each and every item.
Yes.
The earrings, the necklaces, the bangles, the
Yes.
Mangal Sutra, anklets.
Yes.
Puts their weight also in gold. How much tolas and how much what their weight is. Gold bars. Even the marks of the gold bar, this is a British gold bar, this is Singapore gold bar, all those things. Plus a certain amount of cash which is there.
Yes.
And roughly I calculated that gold turned out to be about 40 kg in weight. Now this is a treasure fortified by the Allied forces under the Enemy Properties Act.
Yes.
Enemy Properties Act.
This is
And
officially seized by the under Enemy Property Act. This is serial.
Enemy Property
And
Act.
beyond that, huge amount unofficial.
No, and the record is complete. Now within this, what they say is, what is to be done with this amount? And they write to the Indian government. And first Nehru says you deposit it in that personal account in Indian Overseas Bank, to which they refuse. Then Nehru says, okay, it should be distributed between India and Pakistan. Why should it go to Pakistan? And the last noting on that file is of 1950, 52 I think. I'm very bad at dates. It says, now the Indian Prime Minister is saying that it should be equally divided between India and Pakistan. We told him that we will talk to the Prime Minister of Pakistan. He said no, he will talk to the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
Then the whole file is silent.
So we can't do anything now till the issue is settled, and after that,
The whole file is silent.
no, there is no reference
No
or
reference.
anything that what has happened to this 40 kg of gold.
This oil.
Whether it went to Jinnah and Nehru's personal pockets, whether it went to the Indian government or Pakistan government, whether the British took it back, looted that amount, there is no mention of that.
And after that,
And
after a long gap, we are getting the reference to this Singapore wealth in 89.
what is that?
That is, we are seeing a discussion in the parliament on this wealth.
Okay.
That 114 crores has come to the Reserve Bank of India,
From
and main purpose they are trying to have a huge memorial in the name of Netaji and INA to use that money.
But are you sure that this amount has come, and from where?
Yes,
it has
that is the parliament discussion.
From where it has come? I want
From
to know.
Singapore. From Singapore. This is the parliament discussion
Not
in the
getting any
paper.
files related.
Yes, there is a file. There is a file.
No, it has not been declassified.
This is declassified. I got it. Yes. Meera Shankar, director, assets of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose worth rupees 114 crores transferred to Government of India by the Government of Japan, Burma and Singapore.
Sir, this government, Japan and Banga and Singapore, I have my doubts. What is this here transferred is? This is the amount of this Azadin Bank.
This
Japan
document,
gave no money. Japan gave no money, and Singapore could have been that treasure I am talking of, but this this deals more with the money of Azadin Bank, because when Azadin Bank was sealed, we have a record of Dinanath Mitra, the director of the bank, which again lists the entire amount in that.
Yes, when I have gone through this whole file, which was to my hand in the year 2000, which went from Delhi to our JMCI as a part of our documents, I saw that the source of this wealth is a copper mine. This copper mine was donated to INA.
So
this copper mine, Yes.
then this money is then totally different
Yes,
from
different.
the earlier treasure which we are talking
Yes. And this money, from this copper mine, the government of Azadis was earning. This copper raw material was being supplied to Japan.
So
and
this-
against that, government of
Japan gave.
government of Azadin was earning money.
Okay.
And when there is a sudden end of the war, whatever wealth of this mine
That
was seized.
So that is very
And that
clear
was
now.
transferred to the local banks.
What makes it clear
This
that,
wealth.
that these things could not be looted because these were on record everywhere. So they came. But the others which could be looted easily,
But that is looted
they were
subsequently.
subsequent.
They have transferred this money
89.
in 89 to a Reserve Bank of India, but on inquiry, it is being seen where this money has come, but where is the transit route subsequently?
One is transit route, and secondly, on what items this money is spent in India,
Where it is gone?
where it is gone.
Then the whole government is silent, the whole
Because I
file is silent.
remember Yusuf Mafrani made a plea that he had contributed 1 crore, so his money is there, and since this is over, he should be returned his money, and he was denied. He was denied. Okay, no, this is not your money. He was denied. So this is one aspect of that.
In this way, there is many deposits are there.
No, there are other
defalcated.
things. You see, Azad Hind Bank, the records which show when it is sealed, besides the money and gold and whatnot, it also shows that there is a huge amount of
Paddy fields,
not
plantation,
paddy fields, in the godowns,
paddy.
which are under the Azad Hind Bank.
Because the estates of the Indian diaspora was donated to the
No, not
Then
only
government.
the states, it's many other places also. So what has happened to that? No one knows.
Also-
And they-
also you have
and
come
the money
across-
from the, but one good thing you see what Netaji had done and Azad Hind Bank had done was that the Indian community which had deposited in that bank in Rangoon, before the British could close that bank, they had returned the money of all Indians into that. See the honesty of that. That was not taken.
yes,
This was a surplus.
the fixed deposits was returned.
Now comes
Those-
a very interesting thing in this. If you read the Shahnawaz report,
In the last chapter 6,
and the last annexure in that report,
6th chapter.
where he is done very honestly, he has traced the entire movement of the major treasure of iron. Who packed it, how it was done, where it went. And the interesting thing is, that something which starts as 7 steel boxes ultimately gets converted into a suitcase. Somewhere it gets converted into boxes of wood, somewhere it is suitcase, and then from the plain remain it says their remains are kept in a army canister, and that canister again becomes the suitcase, and then Nehru receives these suitcases at his house in Tinmurti,
Yes,
where he keeps them at his house for 1 month.
yes.
And it is only after 1 month that he writes not to be displayed and puts it into the vaults of National Museum, where they are lying still. They were opened sometime during the Janata regime at the base of.
Other note of the barrister, briefless barrister is this will be used to display that plane crash.
No, but they didn't use it. That is why I am saying. Because Nehru knew that plane crash had never taken place. Otherwise, this was the biggest evidence for Nehru to show that these are the remains of plane crash.
But
Okay.
you suggested one thing.
But the moment you do this, if someone had a question like me to ask,
How it is burnt?
no, yeah.
How it is burnt?
It is burnt under petrol or it is
Petrol?
burnt under any other chemical.
Yes.
That would have solved the mystery.
Forensic test will
And
disclose
now,
how it is burnt.
Dada, there is another interesting very claim. Again, the problem is how to prove it. There is one Sardarji in Delhi who claims that what came in this suitcase is the jewelry which was taken from his great-grandmother in Japan and burnt. And he says even that watch which was given, that square watch, belongs to my grandfather. And his grandfather was in Japan with Azad Hind Sarkar, and then when he came in India and he wanted to go back to Japan, the Japanese government asked him to come and settle down there. This gentleman shows, Mr. Khosla, he shows the documents of MEA also of those times, at that time. But Nehru government didn't allow him to go back, and this Sardarji committed suicide by burning himself. And now when this man writes to Ministry of External Affairs, quoting those letters, in RTI, the ministry says, we don't have any such records. Now this is very interesting, that any records related to Netaji, any records related to INA, they disappear very soon like this. So this is another aspect of this treasure going on. But Shah Nawaz recommended at that time also that a separate inquiry should be done into this.
Government is silent on this aspect.
He said even the time is lost, we may never know what went on, but at least the mystery should be clear that what happened to that treasure. And I tell you, I don't go into ifs and buts and all, but I am very clear now that these strong lobbies in the country who want to bring down Netaji's name, the moment you talk of Netaji, they start trolling you on social media and other places. It's a very strong lobby like that secret societies, those who looted, along with the politicians of that time and some ICS officials of that time, their children or all, they are so entrenched even in today in politics and in bureaucracy that they don't want anything, any reality on Netaji to come out in this regard.
Then the last part I was saying, you saw these declassified files on the INA wealth in 2016 when PM declassified
Certainly,
it.
yeah.
I got into these files in 2000 when
When
a
they were
section
brought
of
to,
James
Justice
CI.
Bhagwan.
At that time it was not declassified, but I got the certified copy for
I-
my James CI.
I-
Then I was waiting for the completion of my James CI. After James CI, with these files, I and my friends went to the High Court
And go further.
and filed
The
a case.
court judgment is
Judgment is and ordered the government of India to inquire into the issue to come to a conclusion where the
Nothing will
money
happen.
wealth has gone.
Because there
Nothing
are
has
very
happened.
strong forces in this country. But viewers, I would like to tell you that we have tried to give you a clarity about the INA treasures. And these were the treasures made out of the sweat and blood of the Indian community in Southeast Asian countries. Of Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, everyone who contributed for the country. They were looted. Some say what purpose it will solve. I think as a historian that the nation, the people of this country have a right to know that what happened to the Azad
Indian
treasure.
diaspora in the Southeast Asia donated this.
And this is related. That is why they want to stall anything about Netaji when it comes to what happened to Netaji after 45, this treasure and that issue.
And some
are
leaders
related.
has taken the share of the loot. I know we will not be able to recover the wealth, but future generations of this country should know
That it was looted.
it was looted and who looted.
It was looted
and
the
looted.
wealth of the nation, the wealth given for the liberation of this nation was looted by, and I'll call them criminals, whether it is a politician, whether it is a
Bureaucrat or whatever.
or whosoever, a businessman, whosoever it is, they
But one-
looted this country.
But one thing is clear, Nehru whitewashed, Nehru covered this crimes.
Nehru covered that.
Covered these crimes.
That's why the fingers point out, because when you start covering
Clear,
something,
covering.
the finger is raised at you. Thank you very much.
Maybe he is the direct beneficiary also.
बहुत जल्दी मिलेंगे आपसे एक और व्याख्यान के लिए। नमस्कार।